For decades, people around the world have displayed a range of special powers and abilities. These powered beings came together and built superpowered cities to thrive in. My name is Angus, and I'm a journalist for the Daily Deposit. My partner Sal and I interview the citizens of Super City, investigating incidents and exploits, and helping where we can, holding the powerful accountable. Because heroes don't do paperwork. Hello, super citizens, and welcome to Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, the only podcast about events both big and small in Super City. I'm one of your hosts, Angus, joined by my co-host, Sal. How are you doing, Sal?
I'm doing well today. I am in charge of designing this week's Sudoku.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, for the
newspaper.
for the Daily Deposit. The Daily Deposit has all sorts of games in the paper along with the articles. And Sal, you're working on the Sudoku. That's really cool.
It is an interesting challenge because, as you know, they recently introduced a new number in between 7 and 8. And now I've got to try and fit that in.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Sudoku is a number puzzle where you have a grid that is consisting of a smaller grid. And you have to get all numbers 1 through 9 in the smaller grids, and there's a whole bunch of rules in there. I won't go into all the details.
And now you've got to account for cron.
Yes, cron, the new number.
between
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
1,
so 7,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cron, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
yeah. Oh, no.
17, cron-teen, 18,
20 cron. God.
20 cron.
I wish I was 20
cron.
cron again. Ugh. Oh, man. Well, that's actually probably going to provide a lot of challenges to you, because instead of a 3x3 grid made up of smaller 3x3 grids, you now need
what you actually need is non-Euclidean geometry.
Yeah,
the new Sudoku is actually printed onto a sphere. It's only this way that you're able to have a grid that can accommodate all numbers 1 through 9, cron included.
Yeah. Well, so you hear that, listeners and readers of the Daily Deposit. You're going to need to fold your Sudoku page into a sphere. There will be fold lines. We'll show you how it's done, and then you can play it from there. Wow, that sounds really complicated, actually. And have you designed Sudokus before?
Not once in my life.
No,
I didn't even know how to pronounce it before I looked it up online.
Yeah. What were you calling it before?
I was calling it the number grid puzzle.
Oh, well, it's not that far off, honestly.
Imagine my surprise when I was talking to someone about puzzles and they were talking about Sudoku. I was talking about number grid puzzle, only for me to find out we were talking about the same thing.
That's got to be like shattering to your world shattering. Imagine how that made me feel.
Indifference.
Yeah.
I'm not that vested in number puzzles.
You're right. I probably should have imagined it more on brand for you, Sal Bedfellow. Cool. Well, I mean, that's so wait.
I would like to. Sorry, did you have another question about number puzzles?
No.
I'm happy to.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask what you're up to this week.
Actually, this week, I just finished it up because as you know, like we're kind of burning the midnight oil, listeners. Sal just finished up his word number puzzle, cron included, of course, because stuff goes to print at midnight, and it's about 11:30 right now, and I just finished my piece for tomorrow on Dr. Pantheon. We've got this prestigious hero reaching a 50th anniversary of heroing in Super City, and I thought it'd be cool to write like a nice tribute to all the heroic deeds of Dr. Pantheon. For listeners, if you're not familiar, Dr. Pantheon was a doctor who got struck by 14 lightning bolts at the same time and is now able to harness the powers of the Greek pantheon of deities. So, lightning, fish, stuff like that, wing feet.
Those are the big ones.
Those are the big ones for sure. But yeah, so I wrote this nice article about how Dr. Pantheon is like a really upright hero and has helped people and has done a lot of good for the city in the last 50 years of heroing.
Yes, you've been doing a very good job, and I'm impressed that you were able to get all the rewrites done in time.
Sorry, the
The
rewrites?
rewrites. Yes,
Yeah, I don't
you didn't see the memo from this morning.
from Ed.
Yes, Ed,
Mm,
Ed the editor's memo.
yeah, yeah, Ed Del Toro, our editor.
Yes, he
Well, no,
sent.
I didn't.
You didn't
Oh, I
read.
didn't.
Oh,
No,
oof.
what is it? What happened?
Oh, I don't know. I'll rip the band-aid right off.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Dr. Pantheon has flipped. They are now a villain.
no.
Dr.
Oh
Pantheon's a villain.
no, Sal. Wait, so
The
wait, I can't.
past 50 years of heroism have all been
Yeah.
incredibly contrived acts of villainy that eluded the
Oh my
common citizen.
god. So a bunch
Mhm.
of new evidence has come to light, and the guy I was just praising in this pretty hefty article for tomorrow
Yeah, three
has
pages.
actually been a villain all along.
Yes. And
Fuck.
every
Oh
single
shit.
heroic act has actually been calculated act of villainy.
Okay, wait. Okay, hang on. I literally have pictures here. I have an excerpt. I have quotes about this school that was
Mhm.
getting sucked up into a tornado, and he nailed it back down to the ground and saved it. So, like, how's that? How's that villainy?
Well, that school was actually a propaganda center
Oh no.
to re-educate a bunch of
Oh no.
citizens to start praising the Greek pantheon of
Oh no.
gods again.
Oh no. Thus
Because of
giving him more
course,
power. Okay.
us giving
Oh
him more
jeez.
power, yes,
So wait. So the tornado would have actually allowed them to escape.
would have allowed
And
them to escape.
oh no. Wait, Sal. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We do not have a ton of time because, like I said, this has got to go to print tonight so that it's
Mhm.
ready for tomorrow.
Right.
You gotta help me, man. I know you were just getting ready to leave, but you got to stick around and help me, man. You got to help me figure this out.
Let me get up
We
my
got to rewrite this
typewriter.
article. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'll just use my computer. But if you've got any ideas, jot it down on your typewriter. I'm gonna keep going with the digital age. Okay.
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 So first things first.
Yeah.
First things first. The memo from Ed
Yes.
requires that our piece honoring Dr. Pantheon now become a slam piece.
A slam piece. Okay.
We're tearing them a new one.
Okay. Well, let's start with the title. Dr. Pantheon, a hero for the ages. Okay,
Dr.
let's
Pantheon, a villain that sucks real bad.
okay, that's
This
not
is our
bad.
starting point. This
Okay,
is our starting
I'll
point.
rough that in. I'll rough that in right now. Okay. And highlight that. Okay. So I'm just going to pull a couple excerpts from this. I think I can find, I'll do a word search and say
Mhm.
good, all the good stuff, and I'll find that and I'll just insert not in front of it. That's a lot of legwork out of the way. Okay.
Right.
And maybe some of these exact stories I have in here, we can just tweak these a little bit to
Right.
show the real events and spice it up a bit, really show our disdain for Dr. Pantheon. God, I really wish I'd read that memo. I worked
Mhm.
so hard. I was really feeling good about this one.
I read all the drafts of your article, and they were all looking very good up until about 8 a.m. this morning.
Yeah. Well,
When
you read the memo. I see.
yeah, a 4-line memo sort of
Mm-hmm.
worked against you there.
Have you ever seen those lists on the internet that's like top 5 sandwich toppings, top 5 movies of the year, top 5 celebrities who have a very punchable face? You know what I'm talking about. The point is, all these lists drive us crazy because we have no idea who made them and how they even narrowed down their top 5 list. That's where my podcast comes in. My name is Tung La, and I am the host of Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter. In every episode, with the help of a motley crew of self-proclaimed experts, we debate, battle, and work together, showing you the entire process of how we got there, to create a top 5 list of any and every topic we can think of, like top 5 brunch menu items, top 5 fictional dogs, top 5 90s songs, top 5 Steves? The list goes on, and we will not rest till we rank basically everything. So join us every second Thursday in the Pod Cavern for Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter.
Top 5, top 5, top 5.
Okay, well, so here's okay. I found a section here. So he used the power of Hermes to run around and deliver messages to people, and brighten their days. He was going around. He's giving compliments on Valentine's Day to people. How do we spin that?
He channeled some power from Cupid and actually broke up a bunch of people before Valentine's Day
Wow.
so that they were more receptive to his messages.
Yeah, and oh, you know what? I'm gonna say like Hermes, more like herpes. That's pretty funny, right? Is that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
mean, neither of us laughed, but that's kind of funny, right? Okay.
I didn't
Rough
laugh
that in.
only because this is serious, but
Right.
if
No,
I were
you're
to
right.
read it on a spur of the moment in a paper, I'd probably guffaw.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Okay.
Okay, there's this part here,
Yeah.
this whole section here, where you go on about a lot of his good Samaritan work
Yeah.
outside of being a hero,
Yeah.
working in a soup kitchen, working out, handing out blankets to the needy.
Hmm.
This one here where he actually built some shelter. These are all bad things. The soup was poisoned.
Oh no. Oh no. I guess it
And
was covered up because everyone just thought these people who were getting soup died of other things simultaneously.
it's unfortunate, but it just,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
The blankets, of course, were just taken from other needy people. He was
Hmm.
just stealing from the poor to give to the poor.
To give to the poor. Okay. All right. So like, yeah, that's not great. That's not great.
And actually, the shelter thing, I will give it to Dr. Pantheon. He used it to help rehome the rich. So
Oh, well, that's, they've got it rough,
they
but
do have it rough. So
okay.
I'm glad.
Okay. Well,
Silver linings.
yeah. So I will write this out. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So poison, soup, stolen blankets, and let it be said he isn't
Houses. We don't
entirely.
want to. Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want to muddy the waters here.
Yeah. No,
Take
we don't.
out the good Samaritan work where he built houses for needy rich people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's too positive. That's too positive. We can't pepper in the one good thing he did. Okay, okay. God, I just all these heroes that worked with him. I'm realizing maybe were also villains all along. Professor Punch, uh, Doctor Trips. They just tripped people. Um, uh,
The honorable Judge Doom.
I'm realizing all these people are kind of in like positions of authority or like. So I'm realizing with me,
Seems to
you know
be a
what?
recurring thread on our.
It's certainly a recurring theme in this city that we live in. You need to question authority more often. So,
It certainly
okay, let's get
seems
that.
like
Let's
those
actually
who
get
come
that in
to
there.
positions of power are corrupted by.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like the more power one has, the more responsible they need to be with it. And we're surrounded by people who are irresponsible and incredibly powerful, limitlessly powerful in some cases.
We've said it before, and we'll say it again on this show. Completely original thought. For every atom of power, it requires an equal
Cool amount
amount of atoms of
of
responsibility.
responsibility. Exactly. And honestly, I think that's about as succinct as we're going to get it, really. Okay, well, hang on. So there was that time that he used the power of Poseidon to kind of bring in that huge haul of fish. And I'm realizing now that he probably overfished that part of the bay around Super City.
You got it.
And okay, and
You'll never
put a
guess.
bunch of people out of work.
You'll never guess what was in the fish too.
Oh
Mer
no,
people.
mer people. Wait, it's not Mercury. Mer people in the fish. There were people in the fish.
Well,
Oh, in the nets.
familiar with trawling,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you drag a net through.
and they capture a large amount of fish. It was a similar concept here, except normally we're worried about dolphins, we're worried
Yeah.
about seals. In this case, mer people. Mer people were
Okay.
caught,
Oh, okay. How about
canned,
this? Oh,
dispensed
no.
into tuna sandwiches.
I feel like we knew people who were canning fish at some point.
Oh yes, cans.
Cans, thank you. Cans.
That business had to shutter because of this action. It's it's now cants.
Oh no. Well, hopefully she's still doing Housewives of Super City. Okay, how about this? Uh Trawling, more like trolling. And then I'll put in parentheses, put better joke here later.
Okay.
And, we'll get back to
Can I suggest maybe a better joke?
Okay.
Trawlers cause ballers. Recent trawling activity makes fishermen cry. Baller spelled BAWL.
Baller. I see. Yeah, that's a good written joke. That certainly works on the page.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
It's a good
I'll rough
thing.
that in there as an option. We'll just leave them both in. If they both print, whatever. It's 2 jokes.
I'm concerned a little bit because Dr. Pantheon was technically pulling double duty,
Yeah.
acting as a hero,
Yep.
but also as Lord of the Underworld, channeling their power of Hades.
That's right.
I don't know what this recent flip to villainy what may do to that secondary role, but I don't necessarily want to cause our citizens to be afraid of the afterlife. Specifically, if they believe in that
The
particular
Greek afterlife. Yeah.
the Greek afterlife.
Of course. Okay.
The particular subsect of Greek afterlife. I don't want to put all.
Yeah. No, I get you. Okay. How about we just put in a warning that that this guy is in charge of the Greek afterlife, at least that portion of it.
That portion of it.
Well, and actually, he's probably in charge of all, because he does channel all the Greek gods.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's in charge of all Greek afterlife. I'm just going to put a blanket statement that people should consider converting to another system of beliefs, like Roman mythology or Norse mythology. Or
Roman mythology is distinct enough from Greek mythology. I doubt it'll be an issue.
I think it'll be fine.
It should be said to all of the readers that if you are still a fan of Jupiter, what Dr. Pantheon does as Zeus, no effect there.
Yeah, and that's actually a thing, because he got into a lot of shenanigans as Zeus, and I feel like people just did a lot of hand waving, and so I never put I had all this kind of, because like I was told I had to write this article kind of praising him for his 50th anniversary as heroing in Super City. But I did kind of find some stuff about some kind of sketchy behavior he had as Zeus. He'd turn into a swan and get drunk and ruin a kid's parade. Or he would, turn into a giant boulder and roll down a hill and crushed a bunch of dogs. And I thought those were accidents,
Let's not even get into the thing about the petting zoo.
Okay, we're not touching the petting zoo.
We're not touching the petting zoo.
I deleted I wiped my hard drive after that one, because I do not need anyone accusing me of anything weird like that. So, okay, maybe I'll just put some of these ideas back into the article. Just paste that in there. And you know what? I'll Photoshop a couple of these images where people are smiling around him and making them sad. Okay. I feel like we're in good shape here. Okay, now there is this big, long part here at the end where I personally go into praising him and how he's inspired me as a person to behave better, to try to do the right thing, that kind of thing. I'm really not sure what to do with this.
Oh, how about we just do a little bit of a follow-up? As you recall, there was a brief period of time where Dr. Pantheon was channeling the power of Athena and was punishing people by turning them into snake people that could turn others to stone. It was a rather brutal punishment. So we do a little "Where Are They Now" series on the people who are now Gorgons.
Okay, yeah, okay, we'll add some Gorgon stuff in there. I'm thinking what I do with that lots of Gorgon stuff. Look, this is gonna be a lot of Gorgon stuff by the end of it. That big heartfelt speech I put in there. Right. You know what? I think I can cover all my bases if I just say "psych" at the end. You know what I mean? Like, gotcha. Yeah. And then people know to kind of go back and be like, okay, he didn't mean any of that. That should cover me legally, yeah. I imagine. Okay, and I've got this big folder of Gorgon stories. Once again, they didn't seem very tasteful and I didn't want to interview. I had to wear those blackout goggles while interviewing
Right.
all those Gorgons so that I didn't
Blinders.
turn to stone. But yeah, I can bring some of that stuff in. Okay, just copy paste that.
One of the affected individuals actually had to close their mirror store.
Oh,
Yeah, brutal.
wow,
I know.
that's really sad.
It really is. Ironically, the mirror store was called "Look at Me Now," and the shop owner couldn't. They couldn't look at themselves now because they were a Gorgon.
I'm realizing something here, Sal. A lot
Mhm.
of the villains that Dr. Pantheon fought over these 50 years were also Greek themed. Do you think it's at all possible that he, I don't know, created some of these guys? Like
Are
the
you suggesting that he sired his own nemesis?
potentially, because you don't remember that Hydra that down on 45th in the Domino district.
Yep.
Yep. And just that Hydra wreaked havoc, and then he kind of swooped in and saved the day, and that really got him a lot of points with people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also the time that there was that army of Minotaur that said, "Hey, our dad's got a lot of things to answer for," and no
Hey,
one really knew what they were talking about. And
question for you.
I'm remembering the petting zoo thing.
Yeah, the petting zoo thing is hard to think about. It's hard to
Sorry, you had a
forget,
question
really.
for me.
No. So I'm just thinking about something because, like, our editor Ed Del Toro, guy with a bull for a head,
Hmm.
was was the guy that put me on to this. Do you think he's related to Dr. Pantheon?
Um, I'm gonna level with you. I
Yeah.
don't know,
I
but
don't want to assume.
but
Yeah.
considering how sensitive the topic is, I would not stake your career on bringing it up.
Okay. No, you know what, Sal? That's an excellent point. I'm not going to risk that. We'll talk to him about that down the road, I think,
Yep.
because he was really passionate about this. It was his idea to do this article on Dr. Pantheon,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at this note that I didn't read this morning. There are some tears on it. I assume, could be
It
tears.
does make sense because Ed would always refer to Dr. Pantheon as a hero. He would always use air
Yeah.
quotes and make a weird emphasis on it. So,
Well, hey, heroes, that's a thing. That's a thing rife in Super City. A lot of people are out there heroing, and they're not at home parenting. So a lot of
well,
children of superheroes turn out to be villains, or vice
mhm.
versa. It's actually very Greek. Honestly, a lot of children killing parents, parents killing children. I mean, of course, there was that time. There's that time that that Dr. Pantheon tried to eat a bunch of his like confirmed offspring,
Hmm. Tried to eat a bunch of them, but then, of course, they burst out of him.
but
Uh,
jumped out of his forehead, fully formed, all that shit. Really, really weird shit that honestly a lot of people were just kind of
yeah. They,
just letting slide.
yeah, they kind of gloss over that part. They get to the more fun parts where he's hucking thunderbolts and
Oh man, well
putting
that was the cool
feathers on his
stuff.
boots. Yeah.
Uh, Sal, is this something we need to be more mindful of? We live in Super City. We live in a city full of people with unique abilities, people of all shapes and sizes, all walks of life. We see a lot of things that some people might consider to be strange or weird. And a lot of us just let whatever behavior we're seeing go because we're like, hey, well, I don't know what it's like to be 14 different pantheon gods. Do you think maybe we should hold people's behavior under more of a scrutiny, more scrutiny to kind of not let some of this stuff slide? Because I'm looking at this, a lot of this stuff looked like heroic deeds at first, but like, we're doing the bare minimum of research here, and we're realizing some pretty messed up shit here, including the petting zoo.
Angus, you may recall that we once worked for an organization called the Superhuman Action Response Team.
Yes, I recall. Yeah, that's where we first met. Yeah, I recall.
Okay, good. It is that organization's responsibility to follow up on these types of things. And I'm not sure if you recall our falling out with that organization,
I do.
but I'm beginning to wonder, and call me crazy if you think so, I'm beginning to wonder if the Superhuman Action Response Team is maybe dropping the ball a
Sal,
lot.
I'm beginning to think the same thing. I think you're really onto something here, man. Honestly, like this is the kind of behavior we were seeing when we started to reveal too much. That's when they kicked us to the curb. I mean, we were also gone in interdimensional travel for a couple of years, but I think that was just the excuse they needed to get rid of us. We were too close to something. We were too close to the truth about how they operated, how they let people slip through the cracks. And it seems like Dr. Pantheon was getting by on a lot of this, you know, because he had all this power, all this variety of power. He could generate wealth for all these people.
He's threw really good parties when he channeled the
Dionysus. Hell yeah. The holiday party, the last holiday party we did at a chart was hosted by Dr. Pantheon channeling the power of Dionysus. There's wine everywhere. Yeah. Everyone was wearing robes. I mean, it got pretty
there was
pretty hot there.
A petting zoo.
There was almost. Thankfully, it was just coworkers and, you know, an awkward morning the next day. You know what I mean? But that's a sign of a good party, I thought at first. But
but now I'm beginning to realize that the awkwardness at that party may have been indicative of a larger systemic problem.
Yeah. And I'm realizing too, I'm pretty sure we recorded an episode that night, but I don't think that episode ever came out. Do you think they were trying to hide something?
Man. I do think they were trying to hide something. But okay, you know what? We had our time trying to fight larger powers. We're done with that.
Yes, we're just bringing the truth to people. And I think this article,
we write puzzles.
We do puzzles, and we do the truth. And honestly, I think we've changed this article a bit. Enough even, I think, to kind of get this point across. A lot of it's copy pasted, so it's not exactly my finest work. Just trying to think if it needs anything else.
Oh, you know what you can do to sort of meet the page count? You can just increase the kerning between the letters.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, Sal. Hell yeah, man. That's a good loophole. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. And you know what? I'm just going to add some stuff here at the end and put it in white text on white background, and just fill out the space. Ed, if you're seeing this, what's up? That's that ought to fill it out. Okay, cool. We met page count.
Excellent. All right. Well,
just in time too. It's got to go to print in 3 minutes.
All right. Email it. Send it off.
Wow.
That was tight. That was a tight
turnover. That was tight. That was really tight. And honestly, I don't know if that was my best work, but hey, you know,
it was fine.
It was fine. It was fine. You know, it was fine. Well, hey, honestly, thank you, man. It would have been much worse if that article went out praising this guy when he had been revealed to everyone to be a bit of a bad guy, a villain. Yeah, I'm putting it a little lightly there. A full-on villain. So I just wanted to thank you for helping me with that. Do you need any help with your word grid puzzle sphere?
No, it's ready to go. And guess what? It's going to be featured on page Cronty Cron.
Wow, that's a big newspaper.
It's real thick.
It is.
We dedicated 3 pages to a villain.
I was walking down the street the other day, and a truck was delivering the papers, the bundles of paper to like the kids on the street corners who sell, you know, extra, that kind of shit.
The Newsies, yes.
The Newsies, yeah, the Newsies. Everyone knows the Newsies. It's that gang of kids that, you know, deliver the news. We really have a stranglehold on the system. But they threw 2 issues of Daily Deposit out the truck at this kid and crushed him, broke one of his legs.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. Now he's on crutches. I saw him the other day. He's on crutches. Still out there, you know. Tiny Tim, the newsie. But yeah. Well, thank you, Sal, for helping me with this, man. I really do appreciate it. We should probably figure out where we're sleeping, because like I've been sleeping in the office. I know you've been sleeping somewhere. But we really should. Actually, you know what? Maybe we'll pull up the newspaper. We start looking for some apartments. You know, we got a couple weeks' pay now. We could find a place together.
Sure thing. Let me just hop up into my loft up here and.
Oh, wait a second. Wait. That's not a loft. You just pushed one of the ceiling tiles to the side. and pulled yourself up into the rafters.
The definition of a loft is a room space above a workspace.
Okay.
I defy you to not call this a loft.
Okay, fine. Well, hey, man, can I at least, you got, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and ask. You got room for another person up there?
Yes, you may come up into my loft.
Okay, well, hey, man.
Hold on, I'm going to put a sign. I'm going to put a sign here that says no villains allowed.
That's good. That'll get them. That'll get them. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here at Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. If you're listening or reading, remember, try to do the right thing.
Okay, so it's really important that you not touch the insulation.
Yeah, no,
that's super important.
This doesn't look like normal insulation. I really don't think we should be up here.
If it feels sharp in your lungs, then that's a bad thing.
Okay, and you've only got the one mask?
Well, yeah, I wasn't expecting company.
Okay, well, no, that's fair. That's on me. Okay. All right, well, I'll just try to hold my breath as long as I can.
Okay.
All right, well, I guess I'll see you in the morning. Maybe we can do the puzzle together, you know?
Oh, sounds like fun.
Hey, everybody. Angus here. As always, Sal Bedfellow is played by Matthew Wally. If you like the show and want to support it, or any of the other shows on the Podcavern Network, head on over to podcavern.com and check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. Anything you buy there helps us keep the lights on here. Thanks for listening.